Hello, everybody. What's up? It's Tessa Fromer, and this is the Social Alchemy Human Design Podcast. And today we are celebrating. We are celebrating 2 years of the Social Alchemy Institute. And I wanted to take some time to reflect on 7 major things that I've learned in my second year of business, because this year, more than the first, has actually changed how I move through the world, how I am as a wife, as a friend, as a family member, as a facilitator, and of course, as a coach and business owner. But I have really felt the impact in the second year on every area of my life. And if you guys know anything about me, it's that really that social alchemy does affect every area of your life. But this year has just been so much bigger than the first year ever could have been. And I ran a bunch of numbers and looked at a bunch of statistics for my own business. And the number one thing that I launched and did in the last year and set out to become really, really good at was coaching. And so I started doing my like quintessential program, Life Force Coaching. And in the last like 9, 10 months, I've spent 177 hours doing Life Force Coaching. I've coached more than 40 humans, and I've done dozens of human design readings alongside that. And the human design stuff was something I already felt really good at, you know, certified, very proficient, etc. But the coaching, the real devotion to coaching and having a roster of clients with which had goals and visions for their life, and me building out my own framework for how to get them from point A to point Z in whatever way they wanted to, was so much more transformational than I thought it was going to be for me too. I wanted to put together a list of 7 things that I've learned in the second year of my business. And if it helps any person who is doing coaching themselves or thinking about starting a business or is many years into starting their business, I bet we have a lot of things in common. And I hope that this just affirms that you're on the right path and that we really are all in this together. And if you're trying to be at all a change maker in this world, there's a lot of insights to be learned along the way. Without further ado, number one, the first thing that I learned this year is that coaching is so much more powerful when it's integrated with your real life. I had to stop trying to fit coaching into this rigid box of what it was, the way that I learned it and studied it with Coactive. And I had to realize that with every single client and every single day and every single week, that it was a completely like the slate had to be wiped clean. And I had to meet them right where they were at in that moment. And that meant sometimes like completely forgetting the goals that we set, at the beginning of our time together and really getting present with them with what was coming up now. And that over the last year has really increased my intuition. And I'd say my overall just connection to clients as I'm letting go of my own agenda and even their agenda at times and meeting them right where they're at. And I've stopped trying to make coaching exclusive or look a certain way or fit into a certain box. And really, I've made it my own, blending T, human design, internal family systems, somatics, gene keys, the genius report. Really, I bring to life whatever's needed in that moment. And I've learned that when I'm working with clients too, if we work on all areas of their life, their relationship to self, their relationship to others, their relationships at work, their pursuit of their own goals, then we're going to have a lot more success in their whole life and ultimately with their actual life force than working on specifically one thing and one thing only. It's just not as effective. So, bottom line, coaching is so much more powerful when it's integrated with real life, your whole life. The second thing that I've learned is that business is the greatest mirror, and that mirror gets dirty very, very quickly. The more clearly I can see myself and my own skills and kind of press a reset button on that every day and begin again the next day, more clearly I can trust that this is going to work. This being the Social Alchemy Institute is going to work, that I'm not just shouting into a void and building a business that I'm going to eventually have to abandon someday. And, it's going to become dust in the wind. But that's a fear that I've had a lot over the last year. And I think it's I think it's common for a lot of my friends that start businesses where sometimes we're like, what the am I actually doing? Like what is all of this really truly for? And is this really making a difference? Or is this all in my brain? And so I had to keep that mirror really, really crystal clear. It shows me myself every single day, down to finances, which can be very easily correlated to success or not, and to the metrics of success for my clients. Like that, it's really important that I don't take that on as my own self-worth or my own like standard of how good or good enough I've been, but that I keeping my own mirror clean. And beyond that, I love to use the mirror as a metaphor for how able and present I am to reflect the truth to my clients and reflect perhaps their body language, their sense of self, their resonant unlocks. And yeah, I need to keep my own mirror very, very, very clear for that. Number three, by far and large, people are craving real community, not just content. From social alchemy events over the last year, I've hosted 6 workshops, 3 custom workshops for sales teams, that to integrating tea ceremony, to collaborating with song circles with my friend Kylie. You guys definitely have to come to our tea ceremony and song weaver circle. The next one is August 12th, and then we're going to have another one on the third Tuesday of September. And you guys they're the ultimate social alchemy. So tangent over with that. But throughout all of these events, I was also opening up my house regularly for my in-person clients. And that means we would do about an hour of life force coaching and then another hour in the sauna or the cold plunge or doing tea ceremony or kind of just extending our sessions so that we could really connect and drop in more deeply. And what I've really felt is that people want to be connected to community more than anything. And it's when they're connected to community that they can really grow and become the version of themselves that they want to be. And when we're working in a silo, it's not as integrated with their real life, which is back to number one. Coaching is more powerful when it's integrated with real life, and people are craving real community, not just content. And we need to get them off of Zoom, off of their phones, and into the presence of somebody with a regulated nervous system who can really hold it down and see them clearly. And that's been another huge, huge, huge part of my journey in the last year. How can I stay regulated in my body when I'm in the presence of others? And how can I help them still move the needle forward? Because I've been so focused on real community and not just content, I've really moved away from formulaic marketing launches and leaned more into my own personal flow and my own essence of creativity and how I want to create and how I want to connect with my audience. And that means that I really do follow my strategy and authority. Like I ride my emotional wave on the big things and I trust my sacral to respond to the ideas that light me up that don't require that much planning or effort, but feel a spark in the moment that would light me up to share. And if I don't have that, I don't force showing up. And with that, I really lean into organic selling and organically showing up online and sharing what I have to offer. And that has been perfectly magnetizing the right clients and people into my orbit. Plus the combination of showing up in person, which is I feel where I really shine and where the business really shines because you can see it all. You can feel the space, you can feel the sanctuary that's here. And it's intangible. These are intangible pluses that are a part of being in a real community, not just existing on Instagram. My fourth lesson from the last year is that I can't give from an empty cup. I've known that. I know that I can't give from an empty cup. But what I've learned in my second year compared to my first year is that I can show up anyways. And that has made me a more disciplined coach and business owner. Regardless of the status of my cup, I show up, I sit down in front of my clients, and I focus on them. And that gets my attention off of myself and into helping someone else. And that is one of the quickest ways to get out of your head and into real life. Now, it doesn't change the fact that I do need to have regular practices, sometimes daily, but especially weekly, to fill up my own cup. I need to go to my own tea ceremony. Like I need to meditate myself. I need to be around people I love. And I need to have time periods where I am talking out loud, soundboarding, and reflecting with people who see me very clearly. But beyond all of that, even if I'm not getting those things or I don't have time for them, I show up anyways. And that's made me a more disciplined coach and business owner, period. This kind of feeds perfectly into number five, which is that you guys have heard me talk about this a lot on social media, and it's really just my embodiment of being a lighthouse. And the fifth thing that I've learned is that being a lighthouse matters more to me than it ever has before. It's about being a steady source of light. And most importantly, it's about walking the talk. When I truly live the life of my dreams, I can tell, like without effort, without trying, without forcing, that I am exuding a level of light that is magnetic and authentic and genuine. And it brings so much to me. It adds so much to my life. The more that I'm able to show up and maintain this level of life force, especially in the summertime, like right now, life is so full on, and I need a lot of prana or life force in order to sustain this dream life right now. But the more I'm able to do that and show up and be disciplined, and the more I'm able to help others generate their own dream life and show that where they're out of alignment and where they can step into alignment and just how good it can really get. And again, I mean that in all areas of life, similar to my very first lesson, which was that coaching is better when it's involved in your whole life. That's what your dream life comes down to. It's not just your dream job, it's also your dream partner, it's also your dream friend group. It's dreamy text messages coming to you every day. It's being surrounded by people who love and see you for who you are. And that is what life feels like for me right now. I really do feel unbelievably blessed and supported by so many people. And that includes the people I work with, but it also includes my relationship with myself. And that being of a lighthouse, that archetype there, means more to me than ever. And it continues to deepen. And I'm really grateful for that. It's beyond just being, you know, tall in a generator, which is what it kind of began as. It began as like my journey to calling myself a lighthouse or being called a lighthouse started with me being 6 feet tall and always able to be found in a crowd, and deciding that if, well, I can't hide and I have to be seen, I might as well be seen for being a lighthouse. But over the last year, I've been stepping into that more than ever and just embodying that archetype as a living, breathing, moving, walking, talking, teaching, coaching lighthouse. And I just want to guide people back into their own authentic version of being a light. Number six, the kind of role model that I want to be is someone who does it imperfectly, anyways. Not because it's ready, meaning the concept, the post, the idea, the podcast, but because I'm ready to do the damn thing. And this comes up for me all the time. And it's such a slippery edge for me because I am a 6'2" role model hermit in human design. And I'm always kind of figuring out my own way, my own preferences, my own modalities, my own teachings through my authentic lived private experience, which is the 2 line. But when I cling on too much, and if you're watching this live or you're not, I'm literally like grabbing my hands. It's like when I cling on to doing something perfectly, I will essentially, I'll bludgeon it to death. And that could, like, the example that comes to mind is me starting this podcast. I've wanted to start a podcast since like 2018, even when I had nothing to talk about. Like, not really. I just wanted to talk about life and have deep conversations with my friends. I have just always felt like, no, it's not ready. I'm going to have to find like a subject matter and topics and a rhythm and a strategy and a co-host and get the right technology and on and on and on and on and on. And it just prevented me from taking action until one day, end of March, I was like, I have something to say right now, and I have got to get off of Instagram and talk in a longer form to really feel authentically myself. I just did it that day. I just opened up Zoom, grabbed my microphone, pressed record, and ripped. Taking that action, not because the podcast was ready, but because I was ready to record a podcast, is night and day different. It's making it less about the thing and more about me, which is me manifesting my inner genius instead of letting that inner genius get stuck and stagnant under perfection, which doesn't exist. It's a trap. I can practice this every single day in posting content, like showing up online, but it's really when you start to take these deeper steps into showing up, you really have to sometimes say go and jump and just go as high as you can, and the know that you can always jump again. Getting the data is more important than not getting the data, and I will live and die on that hill. Do it because you're ready, not because it's ready. And then finally, my seventh thing is that I've learned a lot more about what the social alchemy archetype is, specifically the social alchemist. And I'm more certain of it than ever that the social alchemist is someone who uses all of their life experiences, the joys and the struggles, to create experiences with which others can grow and evolve. In the future of the Social Alchemy Institute is going to be training social alchemists to weave together their own modalities and lived experiences to create offerings for the world that will create change. And the social aspect of this is definitely doing things in person with others, though there is a certain chemistry and tribal energy that is possible to obtain over Zoom and online. But there's something about the in person healing that's really needed right now on this planet. And it's when we can gather that we can feel like we can feel changed. We really can feel changed because we have to be present because we're so much more physically vulnerable and seen. Whereas on Zoom, it's really easy to, look down for a minute and check your phone and think that maybe it looks like you're writing, or open a new tab and look over here and, surf the web and just look like you're present. But when you're in person, there is a certain level of being outside of your comfort zone and being witnessed in that's really important to your growth. And I'm really like learning a lot about weaving that into my life and into the future of this business. And instead of it being what it is right now, which is coaching and helping people chase their dreams and live their dream life, it's really going out into the world in a bigger way than I can even imagine right now. But I know it's going there, and I'm just planting the seed every single year, the seeds for it to grow and for it to bloom. And I really can't wait to see how that unfolds and what this all becomes. Because if this is just year two, girl, the next 10 years are about to be insanity. We are more connected than we even know. Those are the 7 things I've learned in my second year of running this business. And if you liked this, or if you want more things like this, please let me know. You can follow me on Instagram at Social Alchemy Institute. I have an events group on WhatsApp, which you can also message me on Instagram for the link to. If you are local to Boulder or local to Colorado, you are welcome to come to any of our events. Our next one is August 12th from 5:30 to 7:30, and it is a tea ceremony and song circle. And then our following one is going to be on September 16th, 5:30 to 7:30, a song circle and tea ceremony. And then the third one is on October 14th. Same time frame, same flow. Would love to have you there. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and I'll speak to you soon.